All right, everybody. Well, welcome to one of our many videos that we've been producing. This video I want to talk about is how are we going to create a library of the illustrations and photos we've been using for training manuals and training materials. This does not cover like taking photos of field events. That's not the intention for this. Why are we doing this? Well, I estimate that we probably have at least 15 training manuals we've developed, or, and we will have all those flip charts, we have all those posters, we have all that. So I do have a bibliography. I encourage people to take a look at the bibliography and you'll get to at least know the training manuals, maybe not all the materials where you can locate those. I'm going to just guess we're going to have more than 200 illustrations. I was just looking at this field guide for lead farmer interventions. That alone probably has 200 illustrations if we were to look at it. The other problem is we don't have the illustrations housed in a single place. Sometimes they're on Dropbox, sometimes they're on Sheba or ShareDrive, they're on the consultants, they're by the editor. Many times they are with you, but I don't want to talk about that because they all should be on the Dropbox. What are the problems we've had with illustrations? Well, major issues or illustrations have been is it takes time to find a good illustration. Yeah. People say, well, I don't want a photo from or illustration from Asia. Yeah. We've had some cases where people even said that is more appropriate for the Hararges than it is for the Rift Valley. There's a lot of this is a major one. They don't have copyright. People just copy and paste it. So it's up there. There's no captions. Who took the photo, where the photo was, what year. This creates a lot of delays in seeking permissions or finding acceptable substitutions. So most of the time we can't take those. Illustrations and different text undermine the importance of consistent messaging. These people don't see this messaging very often. So you want to use the same illustration to give the same message, not changing out the illustrations all the time. Yeah. And hiring an illustration to do the same illustration or similar illustration, we've actually hired the same illustrator to do the same illustration or the same illustration with, can you change their colors of their shoes to be blue and we still get billed the full amount? So why is this so important now? We will be producing less new manuals and training materials, but we will be providing refreshers. We're going to have to adapt a lot of our trainings now to new mediums. So, we may want to do tablets, we have to do projectors, maybe new posters, developing IC to re-emphasize key messages. Yeah. So we may have provided a training. Yeah. In some cases, we may actually need to develop new material because of desert locusts, fall armyworm, new types of emergencies. So what are we doing? So Diffson LRO has requested Marina Bang, CRS designer editor, to compile and organize all the photos and illustrations that she's been working on in the manuals and assessments. Okay, which for the case of LRO is the majority of them. We said we really wanted to focus on livestock and crop, including homestead and gardening because of the seasonality, but also because we also want to make sure that we can use some of that material as we talk about desert locust mitigation and recovery, fall armyworm. After that point, if it works, we can talk about expanding it, maybe access to finance. We have lots of illustrations on silk, lots of illustrations on homestead gardening, household debt management. I think that has a lot going there too. The illustrations will be housed online, and it's basically we would pay $5 a month divided by DISA and LRO. The question now is, what do we do after the project? Well, that could be up to the country program, but I did talk to Zamedi and he thought $5 would be very reasonable and he may be interested in expanding. So what does this look like? This right now is only a sample. Okay, this is only a sample. I asked Marina to just start coming up with models. Okay, so in this case here, she likes sheep apparently. I don't know why, but she likes sheep here. But in this corner down here, you can see that we have a search function. Yeah, it's a search. When you type in the search function, you're going to get some picture options, and you would get something like this. So you type in Rust, you would get 4 different options, and with that, you would get the picture with the caption. You would choose that, you would send that to the editor, you're done. Okay, So again, you could have all the Silk Group presentations, all the Homestead Garden presentations, so we don't have to waste our time. So what do you need to do? Well, one thing is I'd like to move quite quickly on this. So I like you, if we make a request of you, just please be ready to support us. We may say, we like this illustration, but it's in a manual. Do you know where the actual illustration is? Because just because it's in the manual, this is a problem we've had, we can't cut and paste it from the manual because of quality. We oftentimes need to find the actual illustration. Yeah. And then what that could be is, can you let me know who did this illustration? Is there a legal, and she can do all the copywriting. So she can type out this photo this here. I'm asking her to try to limit to only materials we've done so far. So as an example, even a while ago when we had the off farm we were starting, we didn't have any photos for the front page. So she found one and I said, I like it. And she just paid $5 to the photographer and we used it. So it doesn't even have to be our material that we purchase or use. Yeah, there's a whole space out there. As requested, to review your section and provide feedback. Yeah. And then use illustration photos in training manuals and other sources. So my request would be is that before developing new material, that you use this material. And if I start seeing you saying, well, I need an illustrator, that's when me and Yom, as a bookkeeper, is going to say, can you tell me why it's not suitable? Is there something that, is it just a small difference? Yeah, I want to have this picture and not this picture. The question is that going to be merit the time, the legal permissions, all those other things to merit it or not? And maybe you've just looked in one area and you haven't looked in the other area. Maybe you were looking for access to finance as a point to talk about value chains, but you didn't see it under access to finance. So maybe we would say, please go and take a look at value chain. And by searching, you may find some other ones. So that's where we are right now. So the initiative is ultimately just kind of being led by me. So it's kind of this one, but I'm going to have Abraham and Getahun take a greater role as we look at this as part of knowledge management, and then Getahun also with the contract management. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate this, and stay safe.